And this is it. After a long weekend of some admittedly not the greatest weather, after how many tiebreakers?
We got 2 in the semis.
We got 2 in the semis. We got a lot yesterday. A lot of tiebreakers. That's the name of Catalyst 2026. But regardless of how we got there, we have arrived at FFA Finals for Mario Kart World. And what a lobby. This is personally the strongest lobby, the strongest LAN I've ever been to in my time in this community. And I mean, just look at this screen right now.
Yeah, it's truly unbelievable, the names that we have. Haruka, Steez, CPE, Flora, Mirymeg, Cynda, Super Dude, ZekieCat _, who we'll talk about a little bit more later, Luckyo, Mashi, and Owen. And those names, to me, are unbelievable, but expected. I expected a lot of these names to be in the finals, but Owen beating the tiebreaker. I personally watched that incredible play on Whistle Stop Summit, and I am very excited to see what everybody can do in this finals.
Yeah, I mean, Luckyo was in the bottom row of this thing of players. Like, if that doesn't go to show just how strong and how deep of a lineup this is, I don't know what does. I legitimately think all 12 players can win. You can't say that. I don't think I've ever been able to say that about a LAN finals ever. There's usually somebody that squeaks into 6 that is on a miracle run, and they belong there, absolutely, but their chances of winning, maybe not the greatest. This is not the case in this lobby. This is an unbelievable lineup of players, and we're getting right into it.
Wow, unbelievable.
Already on Sky High Sunday. Only one capture card not working. That's an upgrade over previous situations, and here we go!
This is a very interesting start. Players are going to opt to try to get mushrooms, and we see Cynda getting a mushroom in 3rd. They're probably going to opt to, and Mirymeg as well, going to take that shortcut to take off of the 1st place. And unfortunately, Cynda hitting that area, and she hits a banana. Unfortunately, it has to fall to the back.
Now is the time to learn our characters for the 2 of us and everyone watching at home as well. We have a couple swoops in the lobby, a couple bitty buds, a couple of toadettes. I know the toadettes are Flora, Emma, and ZekieCat. Super Dude and Mashi on the bitty buds here, as Mirymeg, Mr. Coin Coffer himself, still running it up. Don't have access to his capture card, unfortunately, but no doubt it'll be a strong showing, regardless of whether it's on camera. Zeke will be streaming his way into 1st with triple nanas, unfortunately for Super Dude.
Yeah, just super unfortunate there. Unfortunately, fell off the map. It has to play this from the back. But this is a very interesting strategy, and you still have a little bit of time to be able to catch up. Meanwhile, ZekieCat unfortunately getting hit, but luckily avoiding that bomb, so don't lose too much time. Haruka having that start. Again, the power items. I said it in the semifinals. These power items matter so much when you're in a top position, but we do have a very, very powerful item in the back. Mashi waiting for the right moment.
There's 2 good spots to use it on this track. There's 1st set and there's last set. What will Mashi do? Golden in pocket probably means early shock here, and that is what is going to happen.
Very interesting indeed. Owen up there, Luckyo in 1st with 2 greens, as we know, but at this point, Owen could really make a run if they pull a mushroom, but they're going to pull red instead. I think at this point, you just try to play it safe because the pack is coming.
This is Luckyo's race to lose for the time being. Triple green, but the blue is going to come out. Can Owen hold on? Luckyo had the horn, in fact. The bill's going to come up. Does Owen hold on to 2nd here? I believe he does. Luckyo, the defending champion, gets off to an early start.
And that's exactly what you need if you're Luckyo. 1st place to start this one. Mirymeg in the back, and as well as Cynda in the back. An interesting start there. Not really what I expected personally.
Yeah, the 8 Deluxe champion and the Southbound champion, the most recent LAN before today, both of them in bottom 2 already. Again, such a deep room, such a deep tournament as a whole. Like, there were players going out in round 1 that are consistently making finals in a lot of other places.
Yeah, and I feel like at this point, in this type of room, it's different. It's different than the semis. It's different than the 1st round of pools. You have to think strategically because these races matter, because one bad race could spell disaster for getting a win. And that's what we're all here for, the win.
If I'm in this lobby, I'm not playing to beat certain players. I'm playing for points. Just general. If I hit somebody, that's good for me because that gets me more points. Like, it's early on in the FFA. You can't really say, I need to target this person's competition, because especially at this point, so much can change in a single race. And here on Acorn Heights, this is another track where a lot can change on lap 3 despite its runny nature.
Yeah, and I feel like that shock as we saw last race, really can dictate a lot going into that last lap, as you said. And honestly, at this point, you have to watch out for what's going to happen. Even in the first 2 laps, positioning matters to set yourself up well for that last lap. We see a bunch of shrooms. The all top row of people have mushrooms, so that cut is going to utilize. Super Dude does fell off there, loses a couple spots there, but again, shrooms are the main story. We see Cynda in second having mushrooms, as well as Mirymeg actually, so that's going to matter. They can take this niche, but they're going to opt to just use the shroom cut instead, and I like that strategy. But also going for the wall as well. Triple greens in first from Mirymeg. That's something to watch out for.
Yeah, I love the way Cynda's playing right now. Being careful, getting that draft of Mirymeg. That's a spot you don't want to draft because that ruins your Nisk alignment. I love the play from her to just go wide, get the double item, and she finds herself with probably the most wins in the lobby, but Boomerang is not the item she wants right now.
Definitely not, but you have to be able to play aggressive, and definitely playing aggressive on Haruka, of all people, is the greatest play you could possibly make. And having a mushroom right now, Cynda, she is looking fantastic as she can catch up easily by the fact that you really don't need to necessarily take Nisk, but meanwhile, we have CPE in third, going for the Nisk and gaining a lot of time back.
Haruka, you mentioned we haven't seen a lot of yet, but he has been absolutely dominating all day. Got off to massive starts in both round 1 and 2, dropped, I want to say MVP to semifinals lobby by 20, and now Rookie's in a really interesting spot here.
Underscore, also known as Rookie, has a very interesting item that is in 8th right now, so you have to watch out for that. The people in the back, you see Luckyo, you see Super Dude, probably Mirymeg. The shock is used, and I like that as well.
I like that for him. Emma, who wasn't first, not getting a great Vine section, and is going to have to go for the charge jump disc, probably. Mirymeg on her tail. Emma opting to go around, actually. I think she has a first place box up there. What's she going to do with it?
I don't know, but we see Underscore coming back up, taking this Nisk very consistently at this point. Able to maybe gain a spot, maybe gain 2 in fact, and gets 4th in the process. What a recovery. Great utilization of the shock from Underscore, and great way to catch up as well.
Mirymeg needed that first after not an ideal race 1, and yeah, that's unfortunately for Emma, just gets put in a really difficult situation after that shock. Has to bring up a first place item, and I don't know what more she could have done.
There's at least like a 5 or 4-way tie for second right now, so you know it's going to be close entering the later stages of this room. It is going to be insane.
It is. I mean, especially the spots almost flipped in that race. There was nobody that got a good race 1 that got a good race 2 as well. It is so even across the board right now. You had Mirymeg going from last to first. You had... What did Rookie get on Sky High Sunday?
In the back, probably.
Yeah, and him in 4th as well. I mean, there's nobody that's really establishing themselves early on, and that's going to make things super interesting because in a lot of lobbies, like in my semifinals lobby specifically, I was playing with Haruka, like I said. He got out to a massive lead early on. He ended up MVPing the lobby by 20, but he was ahead so early on that everyone else just started playing for second. No one's in position to do that right now. Owen is leading early, but there's 4 people on 17 right now. Almost the entire lobby's in double digits already. Cynda has work to do, but I mean, Cynda can do that work, and so can Emma, obviously.
See, this is important to note because Owen picked this track in his tiebreaker, so I would expect him to do very well in this one. Whistle Stop, very tech heavy, but all these players basically know what they're doing. They know exactly what to do in terms of tech, so it's really going to be a battle for position. Right now, CPE having an OE lead, getting a great start, and just going for this item box, having a feather as well, can take that shortcut easily without even utilizing the charge jump, and just
it's faster
consistently as well.
Yeah, it's faster, it's easier, it's everything you want out of that item right now, and while he will be defenseless for a little bit, he will hit the shortcut.
Will hit it very cleanly, in fact, and definitely have the momentum entering this second lap.
And what does Emma do in this situation? No item here. Having a little bit of trouble with ZekieCat. What's ZekieCat going to pull? That's going to dictate Emma's race quite a bit. Not showing an item for the time being, and going to opt to the other side of the rail here as the blue comes for CPE.
That's a dangerous blue, but that's also okay because CPE is simply going to fall off and not really lose as much time. Unbelievable! That is the shock. What an unbelievable prediction from CPE.
whatever it was, Mashi and Emma now on top of each other on the rail. This could easily lead to a draft or a bump or something along those lines. CBE finds himself in first with triple reds as the entire front fails the cut.
Unbelievable. CP has exactly what they need. They have the triple reds, and they can really hold on to them as long as possible. Because forward triple red, just play defense. You just have to hold
Stock has happened.
your position.
This is CPE's race to lose here. Yes. Just drive safe. I mean, here comes one red, but it's going to skip him on the rail.
The golden shot, but Haruka having triple reds of their own, that could be very dangerous. And the bomb coming out as well. Here comes Flora, though, with a shroom. Oh, but unfortunately fails the shortcut, so that's going to make them lose a bit of time. And CPE does not hit it either.
But
let's see if any player can hit it. But there is no one close.
Oh, there is one close. Actually,
Super coming out of nowhere. A photo finish. CPE gets it. Super dude and another player on the left coming out of nowhere to make it a photo finish. And that was Haruka. Unbelievable. And look at these scores.
Mirymeg back into last. It's Owen leading still after 3 races, but CBE 2 points behind. Haruka and Steez 3 points behind, and there was another player on 24. No one is safe right now.
Nobody is safe at all. I think it's 28, and then I think 9th is like 20. So it is 8 points between those rankings. Insane. And that finish as well, just unbelievable. Super Dude came out of nowhere and almost took the win.
That's what we've been seeing the entire day. I'm almost sad that there can't be tiebreakers in finals. I mean, I guess if they want to, if they're in top 6, actually, if there's a tie for 6th, they might have to do a tiebreaker for the Momocon pass, which we have not talked about yet. The top 6 players in this tournament are winning free entry to Momocon, the biggest Mario Kart major in the United States.
And that's a pretty big deal for these players. These players want to get top 6 so they can go to Atlanta and prove themselves even more. As we get into this next track, it is going to be Starview Peak. I have not seen that today, but I think this track is going to be very interesting in the fact that there is so much that could really happen. And just the fact that we see this early on in this one is just truly something to believe. And at this point, it is race 4. We have to realize that now is the time to make your move. Now is the time. You have to be able to find a way to get it done when it matters, because at the end of the day, this is finals and it's go big or go home.
Yeah, ZekieCat taking the early lead here. This is a track, I mean, you can run it. There is the NISC, but how many people are going to be going for that in a situation like this? It has been a while since it's been discovered. Mashi's going to actually draft into first with the Shroom as Zeke might honestly be better for his race, debatably. Being able to have the opportunity to come back here and get a single Shroom, but the triple reds could create a lot of chaos in the pack if he plays the situation correctly.
Indeed, and you have to be able to watch out for that. Getting hit there is not actually the worst situation. Having a build there is great to be able to catch up, but unfortunately, it does go wide, but you are able to get a golden in pocket. It puts yourself in a better position. Super Dude in first, having a red and a super horn in the back pocket. Such an important 2 items for them. One for protection, but also you can dodge the blue shell. You can do so much with that super horn. But Mashi right now only having a green and a red, putting themselves in a good position as well with double defense.
Mashi, I believe, is one of the players in the mix in that mid-20s range that could find themselves in finals, as we have a really interesting situation Luckyo's found himself in.
And he uses it right away, and I like that. Getting the chain into a Mega and a Golden as well. Being able to catch up there. Owen is in the mix as well, but Haruka in the mix too. But meanwhile, unfortunately, failing the charged up NISC, and that's going to make them lose a lot of time.
The Biddy Buds in top 2, and have to imagine Super Dude held on to first, and he did. Mashi still holding on to second with the Shroom, but they have to be careful of Emma here. Mashi
really
making the smart decision to slow down, which I agree with, letting her into second. What she have in pocket is the question. Nothing.
As of right now, you have to also watch out for ZekieCat's triple reds, but the blue shell is out. Super Dude falling off the track. I like that play because the blue shell is gone, but you're going to get unfortunately running into the banana and probably losing more time from that. But the good news is for them is they can get a powerful item, and they do. They get a bullet bill.
The build goes so wide around cut, though, that it might even lose Super Dude spots. Everyone else is going to be shrooming up, and he's stuck all the way over here.
Yeah, but then
he gets the chance to golden, but everyone else has their speed items already. I don't know what Super Dude gets to do here. It'll be presumably Haruka in first. Another Baby Peach up there. It's CBE
coming out of nowhere and taking the win. again. Oh my goodness, CPE is putting on a show here so far.
CPE, I'd have to imagine, is close to or is MVP after that race. We'd have to see what happened to Owen, who got 11th, in fact, all the way down to 5th, and CPE with the biggest lead we've seen thus far. And it's only 7 points.
It's only 7 points, but it feels like a million at this point because of how CPE played in that last race. Very well calculated as well. They predicted what was going to go on, and they executed their game plan perfectly. And now they're in a better position moving forward.
Yeah. At this point, I'm really curious about the track picks here. I'm really sad that this game does not show you who's picking each track, because we're still early enough into the game's life that a lot of people are using different, like, the same track for different things. Like, I think a big one's Rainbow Road. I've seen a lot of Rainbow Road today. Some people like it as a runner. Some people like it as a drafter. And that thought process is just so interesting to me. In a game with only 30 tracks, there's so many ways to utilize them.
You have to be able to realize what tracks work for you and what tracks don't. And if the tracks that don't work for you are picked, like Cheap Cheap Falls, which is very important going into approaching that halfway mark. We're not there yet, but we're approaching that mark, and that means dangerous times are ahead. So you have to be able to realize, if this is a good track, great. If not, let's try to get up there and let's work with it.
You'd have to think all 12 players in this lobby know Tarzan by this point in the game's life. I think if you're picking this, it's not because you have a driving advantage. Maybe you do. Maybe you have a really good time, like a 156 plus, something along those lines. Or maybe you just trust your ability to play lap 3 super well. Because despite this track having one of the most difficult and most important strats in the entire game at the moment, the last turn and the shock and what might happen there is still the grand decider.
It is the grand decider indeed, and Super Dude unfortunately messing up Tarzan, so it's going to make them lose a little bit of time. We see a couple players taking action, and Cynda unfortunately falls off after taking Tarzan. So this track pick matters more because Mashi is ahead and can do this Nisk as well, and has a Super Horn in first. Mirymeg is right there though.
Mirymeg, we talked about Tarzan. He was one of the very early adopters of it, and not surprised to see him up here as well as Luckyo for the second race in a row here.
This is a very interesting position because Luckyo
first set?
to
No way.
utilize this. No,
yeah, I agree.
I agree. As long as they can. Maybe I'm thinking maybe in the middle of Tarzan potentially, but I'm not.
Mega in pocket is a really interesting spot here because, I mean, that's a really powerful item for the end here. It's going to get a decent amount of the lobby on Tarzan. Haruka is able to make it through and has himself a pretty sizable break. Mashi not terribly far behind, and Haruka having to go around cut here is going to make things interesting. Mashi hitting cut is going to close the gap here, and what's going to happen on lap 3? Emma making her way up with shrooms, but has to be careful of the potential trail here, gets around it.
And that's really going to dictate a lot. We see a Mega as well, bomb in hand, and that's going to matter. But Mashi not pulling the items they necessarily want. Zeke, I see triple reds around there. Cynda, she definitely needed to gain some spots there, but more reds are on the way. But ZekieCat trying to get this Tarzan once again. Being consistent at it is important.
Emma's so close with the Bitty Butt and the Baby Peach on the map. She needs this first, but she fails Tarzan. ZekieCat now up here with a red. Decides to throw it forward at Super Dude, who does not have defense. Gets to shoot through the cut. He has this race.
But he does, and in fact,
he second
first. Unbelievable finish there, and I feel like if you're Super Dude, you needed that so much.
You definitely needed that. That puts him right back into the conversation. Unfortunately for Emma, just can't quite hold on at the end once again. A quick top 2 here, as it's now 5 points between top... 7 points between top 5 even. 8 between top 6. A little bit of a gap between ZekieCat and I believe that was Owen in 6, but like it's still 7 points.
Yeah,
that can still flip in one race.
Yeah, it really comes down to that last GP. It really comes down to that last GP, but this part matters because it sets yourself up well for that last GP. And that race in particular was extremely interesting because of the way positions changed throughout, especially in the mid pack. When that shock happened, basically everything changed. So players have to realize that moving forward.
Yeah, Luckyo. I guess I'm not that surprised to see them in the back very often. I mean, I've been putting a lot of time into 8 Deluxe. They've been putting a lot of time into Splatoon. Started off as maybe the best player in the world at one point, winning the inaugural FFA and such. But not to say not to say they've fallen behind, not at all. Like it's Luckyo we're talking about. This is the reigning champion, and they are in finals for a reason. But opting to go for a different playstyle versus, these players like Mirymeg, like Haruka, like Emma that love running. You will see them glued to the front at every opportunity they can.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of just being consistent. And consistency matters. And if you're good on a lot of tracks, you can basically stay in the front. But Wario Stadium, a very interesting pick. You're going to see a lot of players going for this NIS. I see Cynda going for it as well, going on the top. But the player that did it the best is Super Dude, currently in the lead, taking it very, very well, and setting themselves up well for the next shortcut.
No items, no coins is an interesting spot to be in, especially when you have Cynda on your tail with the Shroom. Yeah, gonna opt for the coin roll, which I agree with, but can't quite get on there. What does Super Dude do for coins now? He has 0 when he's in the mid-pack.
I feel like you just have to play your cards and just stay in the mid-pack. You have Shrooms, which is a good pull, so you just have to find coins. I barely avoided that bomb.
Not a great start for Mirymeg, and the other swoop I'd have to imagine is Owen in the bottom 2 for the time being. CPE, one of the early crowd favorites here in the venue. No surprise to see him in the front once again, still contending for the win. And Emma, once again, like I said, glued to the front. She loves running every time she gets the opportunity, and here she is on the heaviest combo in the lobby, likely with the most coins in the lobby. Great spot for her to be in. But how great? I mean, people are going to shroom up. There's probably going to be a shock. We have not seen blue yet.
Yeah, and speaking of shock and the fact that shroom up, somebody dodged. I think that was Steez. We even talked a lot about Steez, but they're getting up there as well, and they could definitely challenge. I think another player is using a golden as well, so that's going to be interesting. But I think that's Haru, actually. And for taking that top route, being very consistent with it. Oh, but getting ranked up there is Steez, losing a couple spots.
Yeah, it's Haruka. Much more closely contesting Emma here, as is the 2 swoops. I believe that's Cynda and Owen here, but Emma going to scare Haruka off of Baylor with the trailing Nana, and now Haruka has burned his Shroom. What's his plan? Are there Shroom behind him? There is a blue!
Is on the horizon, and that's going to be all she will for Flora at this point, losing 7 spots, and getting squished in the process. Just super unfortunate. And Luckyo getting second there. They needed that. And Owen taking the one back into the picture. He scores right now. We have a tie between Owen and Mashi. And Haruka is right there as well. 40 to basically 54 is the difference at this point between like our top half players and everybody else. So
you have to feel for Emma. You really do. I mean, the entire event. You've seen her. You've seen that soft serve Toadette in the front for so long, for so consistently, and I wouldn't call her being in last right now her fault to any point. I mean, one of the most consistent players that's been here has it. At some point, the items just don't fall in your favor, and I mean, maybe it's time for her to reevaluate and consider spending more time in the pack. But I mean, you can hardly blame her for the way things are going right now.
I think it's just the nature of the room. Everybody's such a strong player. You have to realize that sometimes things are not going to go your way. But a track like Bowser's Castle, a track like Mario Bros. Circuit, it could do the difference. But we are going to go to Shy Guy Bazaar. And I actually don't hate this for Emma, who is currently in the back. They can opt to really play it as they can and wait for their perfect moment. Because they could still make some noise.
Yeah, we talked about the top 3, but I mean, 4th is 4 points behind. 5th is like 6 points behind. 6th is 8 points behind. I mean, there's still a solid like 9. I would even go as far as to say the entire lobby can still win. I mean, Emma, we just talked about not having the greatest luck at the moment, and Cynda in 11th, it's Cynda. Like,
but right now we got Mashi in first. Great use of that no item shortcut, but he does not have any items currently, and that's something to watch out for, as Score is right there on his tail, and meanwhile the rest of the pack is just right there. But going for these coins is a very good strategy. Getting that double box as well. Haruka in second. Mirymeg
has to
right
be careful.
Behind, has to be careful as well. Having a banana in red. This is going to be interesting entering the second lap.
Who will shroom up and with what? Emma, well, weird spot for just the lobby in general. Haruka gonna have to sit back here right now. We'll get a 5th place box, which could be good. Triple greens, not the worst. Gonna opt to get his coin count up
Just
in this situation as Rookie now in the back, a far distance away. I have a feeling most of the lobby knows that this is the current situation. We're trying not to vocalize it, but there it is, the shock.
It was honestly a good shock to use, but ZekieCat does dodge and get themselves into a better position. Actually, a great position in that. Even with the hammers, but you gotta watch out. It is so close, but ZekieCat just gonna back off and not go for the rail either. I wouldn't go for the rail, and he says, "Oh, but throwing the hammer." And
It did not.
It did not, but it took out the ball.
I love the idea from ZekieCat so much.
It was fantastic. I really like it. It was very creative, and it was a smart play. And honestly, it might have done a lot of damage to the people.
And look at the gap top 3 has right now. Look at the gap top 3 has right now. Mirymeg is closing it a little bit. ZekieCat falling a little bit behind, but I mean, CPE has like 2 seconds of room. Mashi has like 2 seconds of room. I feel like Mashi has this race. CPE might just have second, but what's going to happen in the pack? Everyone else is super close.
Cynda finally getting up there as well. Good finish from her. And this is what I'm talking about. Races like this can really dictate the tournament. Because Mashi right now, they needed that to extend their lead. And they're up 8 points now. And that's a big win for Mashi.
Mashi and Owen, these are the 2 players that got into finals via tiebreaker. Like, if one item goes differently on both their respective tiebreaker races, neither of them are here right now. And here they are as top 2 in the lobby.
It's truly unbelievable, and it shows the unpredictability of this game to begin with. And even these players, you never know what's going to happen when the competition, when the lights are the brightest. You never know what's going to happen.
You really don't. And I mean, with now an 8-point gap in first, it's by far the biggest we've seen the entire day.
For sure, and I mean, it's a big gap, but again, we've seen gaps like this before.
It can close in one race.
In one race.
Yeah, it can close in one race. There's no one, like, Mashi. If Mashi gets last, like, the lowest spot he can drop to is about 4th right now, but, like, if that happens, one more race and he could drop to, like, 10th.
Yeah, it's really close. The point spread, everybody, like, the top, like, 6 is, like, insanely close in terms of, like, 50 to 60 range. But this is 8th race, so, and we're on Airship Fortress, so this is going to matter. Mashi needs a good start here to really maintain and extend this lead.
Such a pivotal part of the event here. Not a lot of people put that stock into GP2. They're like, okay, a lot of people say, I want to start strong, I want to finish strong. But if you can get ahead in these middle parts, which Mashi is doing, which CPE and Owen are doing, then before we realize it, the gaps are going to become a lot less manageable here. I mean, Mashi holding down the fort on Airship Fortress here for the time being. First is by far the best spot you can be in here right now. We've talked about running this entire time as Emma up here going to make her way into first immediately here with these shrooms. But
you gotta watch out for this.
I mean, what do you do if you're her? What do you do if you're her?
Well, you know, she did have triple bananas and getting booed as well. I feel like this is just not unfortunately. But Super Dude falling off there. And just, you got to play from the back now. CPE back into the lead and has a lead over Luckyo by a couple.
Mashi's in a mid spot right now. If this holds, which knowing Airship Fortress is not a ridiculous circumstance. If this holds, CPE is right back, like basically tied with Mashi. Depending on which of the Biddy Buds that Mashi is, they're actually both trending towards the back of the pack right now. We could see CPE potentially taking the lead here, especially as Luckyo gets their red ghosted. CPE now with a lot more freedom here in the front as the red of Cynda is now in second, actually. The fire is going to have to be careful. Steez here.
This is interesting. And I'm going to say this is interesting. They just used immediately. That's a great place. It's unbelievable from Steez.
Steez probably has this race locked up. I mean, you use this at the start of the spiral. No item afterwards, but I don't think it matters. Good job being wary of Cynda there, but I mean, he just presses the DL button and wins the race right here, I think.
Pretty much, but we see another Bill up there as well. That's going to matter too, but here comes the other Bill getting a box as well. Super Dude back into it, avoids the Rocky Rush, and has a Horde for protection. Here comes,
What's
you have to be
item?
careful of CP. I would just use the Horn.
He's getting hit at the line.
Unfortunate. Perfect strategy, just things couldn't go their way, and Super Dude gets a much-needed win.
Emma finds her way into third, despite how a lot of the race looked for her. Good for her.
We have a tie for first right now between CPE and Mashi, and the points are pretty close, I would say, in that mid-pack. Like, it is insanely close there, but that tie for first, also very important to know.
Yeah, after this race, I'm going to really start looking at that 5 to 8 range, because that's where players are going to start competing for those Momocon passes. There's players, I'm sure there's probably at least one, if not probably half the players on that stage right now that care more about that Momocon pass than winning the event, because getting free entry to Atlanta and all is such an amazing opportunity that these players cannot let slip out of their fingers if they can help it. And we've seen so many of the common community track picks be used to this point already, and this is the last one of those that I can really think of, Bowser's Castle. After this, it's going to come down to a lot of niche specialty tracks. I mean, we saw Bazaar, we saw Whistle Stop, we saw everything that you see in most lounge events. After this race, the last 3 are going to be really, really interesting, Ginja.
They really are, and you have to consider the fact that, again, a track like this, it's pretty much picked everywhere. But you also have to realize players are going to go for that rail often. You see a couple, but Steez, I think, could not get a good line, but CPE, Flora in the front, a lot of these players are going to hit it, and they do, but some players have to go around. I think Mirymeg had to go around, and I think Mashi had to go around, so this top 6 even, really, really good and getting consistent. And CPE with these greens are going to cause a lot of damage.
Yeah, once again, look who it is in first. We've seen the story play out in almost every single race, just when will the cards fall differently? They have to eventually, especially on maybe the most run-heavy track in the game. Getting a second-place box may be a good thing for Emma here.
I feel like it definitely is, but I don't know if it's too early, especially with now a powerful item that CPE has. I mean, when will the cards go their way?
Yeah. Love the crowd work here. As CPE, I would expect to just feather over the cut here, guarantee his safety, which he does. And what's going to happen next? Probably just going to... Yeah, that blue's going to get Steez off in 10 in the BDD team kill.
Super unfortunate.
Luckyo, I think, is going to find his way into first, actually. Or Haruka?
I think that's Haruka in first. They're taking this shortcut extremely well. Having those triple bananas. Oh, trapping Luckyo. And I think it got and extended this lead a little bit. Even with mushrooms, people are going to shroom up. Mirymeg now back in the mix and having a feather in first. Just absolutely genius and just great item luck. And it set themselves up really well for this shortcut.
But now it's Mirymeg's turn to contest him, as is CPE. With 1 red, will get blocked.
But can
more red from Mashi to get ghosted, though!
Instantly, and you have to realize that a bill coming up, and that could affect the shortcut, and it does. The bill has something to do with that, but having a mushroom now is Mashi. Tied for first, they could take this.
Haruka needs this so badly here. Mirymeg, does he have the item to kill? Is that a red shell? I can't tell from this distance. It's a green shell from the looks of things. Haruka, barring shock, I think has this race locked up as Mirymeg gets backed.
That's going to matter a lot for points, but can Mashi make the pass? Mirymeg going for the back, not going to hit it there, but having a red as well. Having this shroom, this is going to be big.
Looks like a
Mashi
second for
can get this pass, this will be a big... Oh, not going to get the one either. Good attempt by Mirymeg, but Mashi taking the lead right back with a great race from Haruka. Once again, getting themselves back where they need to be.
CPE in 10th.
Super.
It's CPE in 10th. Mashi, I believe, is going to take the MVP from this point. Haruka, I can't imagine is far behind. Now on 74 with an 11 points. I mean, now here's where it gets interesting. Steez and Mirymeg for that Momocon pass, kind of on their own island in 6th and 7th. Only 2 points separating them. And it's 10 points between 5th and 8th right now. Those are 2 players to watch for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And you have to realize that really, like, 2nd through 5th, also insanely close if you want to get down to positioning, because I think Mashi has a big lead, and then you have 2nd through 5th, maybe, and then 6th and 7th are bottling it out. But, I mean, it's absolutely insane. This room is fantastic.
It is. There's so many different storylines brewing here at the same time. There's the lead changes every other race. There's now the developing storyline of the Momocon pass, and just because it's Steez and Mirymeg right now, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be either of them next race.
No,
that's how quickly things can flip.
Yeah, and this next track is going to be interesting. We're going to go to Rainbow Road, and this is extremely intriguing in terms of not only the length, obviously, but you have to consider the fact that anything could happen. Like, anyone could win this race, straight up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the track I talked about at the very beginning as far as, like, what do you value out of this track? Some people see this as a runner, some people see this as a streamer. You can pull a golden early on lap 1, do that golden strat over the clouds, and get an early break. There's so many ways to play Rainbow Road, and that's why I love it so much. This is my personal favorite track in the game. Not because it's Rainbow Road, and I mean, it is an amazing casual experience, of course, but I love how versatile this track is. You can win it however you want.
You basically can, and you got to start off strong, though, I would think, because you want to put yourself in a better position terms of moving forward. Cynda getting that triple nano chain, and I mean, it's going to work out for them because they're going to be in the front. And this shortcut, I mean, coming up after the beginning of this next section, I mean, it's going to be so important.
Luckyo getting an assist there from Mashi, getting that last nano of Cynda out of the way as CPE reevaluating a situation and opting to bag, only getting one item though.
Yeah, but the
golden, I mean, he can take the strat.
He can take the strat. He can take the strat. You can realize that. But then again, it's going to also come down to who else has shrooms, because we see Luckyo having 2 mushrooms.
Luckyo in my favorite position in the lobby right here. Like, barring an early Section 2 shock, which is relatively common, they happen at, like, maybe 1 in 3, 1 in 4 races on this track. Unfortunately, Luckyo is going to get redded unless he can get Cynda to body block it. He can't.
But there goes Cynda back in the lead. And CPE having this golden, but also having an interesting item in the pocket. And
not taking the golden strat, interestingly enough. Maybe not knowing it. ZekieCat we see landing from it. Super Dude 5 as well. And he's going to have this blue in a really high spot here. Has to be wary of Mirymeg Star and triple greens here. But what's the play for me?
Just so, again, Mirymeg playing aggressive. I like the fact that Luckyo went off the map, though, because it's not going to lose you too much time. It's going to lose you coins, but unfortunately, didn't pay off for them that time.
Luckyo now with 0 coins. That's Haruka!
Just an unbelievable item pool.
10 points up. 10, 11 points off the MVP for the time being. If this race goes in his favor, he could be right there. And this is an amazing situation here. The best in the lobby by far. I mean, that item in first is unbelievable. What's going to happen here with Shock? We did not see it on Section 2. Right here at Section 3 is a pretty common spot for it, but whoever's in the back has to see the Mega in first and hold it if that was their plan initially. Emma now defending himself from the Ice Flower as Cynda does get ranged. Mashi getting caught in the crossfire, which is so good for the rest of the contenders for the time being. Cynda, unfortunately, not really in it right now, and being in last right here isn't helping. She could shake things up if she pulls Shock here, though. What's it going to be?
This is going to be interesting, but Bill is still going to be helping them out for sure. But the blue is out again, so that's going to go after Haruka, and Haruka is going to have to fall off the map. And meanwhile, they're going to fall down a couple spots, and now Super Dude has the lead with triple nanas, and CPE is right there with
so many triple items here in this glider right now. How are these players going to play this situation? CPE with an even more powerful item in pocket right now, as is Emma. There's so much happening in this top 3 right now, and they all go the same path.
I feel like you just have to play passive at this point. You have to realize that, but the reds are in play, so the bomb is going to be activated. At this point, Flora can play aggressive
CPE
here.
now defenseless, I believe. Emma will get the opportunity to red him out, which could be huge for Mashi if Mashi has a plan for Section 4 here. What does Emma do with now showing the hammers?
The hammers, they might be, I would think they might be, potentially, no, they're going to throw them forward, and I actually kind of like that, because that might have gotten one, so Flora is going to go for this big shortcut coming up, and this is going to matter a lot if they can make it, but the triple greens are there, luckily they have to stay on course, and unfortunately, falling off the track because of those triple greens, and I think Haruka is in the back actually now, but Owen up here now, Super in the lead, backing those greens now with CP. Luckyo is up here too. Let's see the triple, the golden, and having a bomb as well. Luckyo
Super Dude will take the race. CPE third is so big for him because I don't see Mashi. Mashi's somewhere in the mid pack.
Yeah, but where is Haruka in all of this as well? That's also something to note because they were in the front for a good portion of this race. And they fell back all the way to 9. And Mashi getting 7th. And we have a tie for first between Super and Mashi. CPE right there. Owen's still winning as well.
Luckyo has now re-entered the conversation for the Momocon pass, finding himself 1 point behind 6th as Mirymeg 3 points off of Steez for the time being. Now 3 people in that conversation as Super Dude and Mashi? Yes, Super Dude and Mashi taking up the top 2. CBE 5 points behind.
Just truly unbelievable. Not only first, but also, again, those Momocon spots as we were talking about. I mean, it is absolutely insane how close those spots are because it's like there's multiple storylines going on in one race, and it can all flip in an instant. And we're seeing that right now, and I feel like anything could happen. Anybody could take this.
I mean, with 2 races left, I believe. Just because we get one big one here isn't going to decide anything at all. This race 11, like obviously this race 11 is important, but I mean, how much of a difference is it really going to make for Super Dude, for Mashi, for Luckyo, Steez, and Mirymeg for that Momocon pass? I believe they're fighting over 6, 7, and 8 right now, not even 5, 6, and 7. So like those spots can. Only one of those 3 is getting to pass if things shake out the way they currently are, which it looks like they will, as we head to DK Pass here for race 11.
This is extremely interesting because there's more likely going to be a shock in this one, but also that cut is going to be crowded, so you have to watch out for that. Players may opt to go around this first shortcut, which is something to know, and Underscore getting hit out there, but right now in first, the leader, the one who is tied for first, Super Dude, that's important to note. They are in third, but they are slowly getting a lead, and they're going to keep it for the time being. I think I saw Triple Shrooms, though, in the back pocket, getting a trail off as well. Mirymeg shrooming up, that's another person
that throw was onto Luckyo, which could shake things up a lot for that Momocon pass. Super Dude will find himself in actually a pretty good position. The entire top 5 has at least some amount of the Triple Shrooms left, though.
Yeah, that's going to be important to note because of the fact that everyone is going to shroom up here and maintain position. But if you're Super Dude, you have to think you're in a great position with what you have in your pocket. You can utilize your shrooms to play it in your favor. And meanwhile, Mashi in a great spot as well with this ghost.
Yeah. I mean, he knows what item he's getting if he pops this ghost. It is Triple Shrooms. That is what all 5 of the people in front of him have right here. And he thought about popping it early there. I saw him almost go towards that cup, but decides against it, and I think I agree.
I agree as well.
What's happening in the back, that's the most important part of this for the entire lobby right now. Mashi now has to reevaluate his situation. Is holding this ghost worth it anymore?
I feel like possibly, but they're going to opt to use it there, and I actually kind of like that, especially with what you're going to have taking a shroom there. And there's the Mashi coming up. Haruka as well up into the mix. Owen! These triple bananas, though, could cause some damage.
Yeah, and the snowman on the ground from the Kamek. So much for Mashi to avoid. Doing well so far, but Owen could drop these bananas at any point. Mashi has to be so careful right now. Gets around 1. Mirymeg is in last for that Momocon pass right now.
That's something to note and important to note. We see CPE getting up here. But Mashi in 5th, holding on to this mushroom. Steez is getting up there as well. Everyone is in the mix for the win. I really don't know who's going to win. Super Dude, I thought, was up there as well. But a great pull from Super Dude. Meanwhile, in 7th, going to opt to shroom. But I think that's Mashi ahead. Mashi getting 4th. That's great for them. That's going to give Mashi
I think that's a Haruka first. I think it's a Haruka or CPE first. It's one of the baby peaches. Which one is it? It's CPE!
You have CPE taking the lead by 1 point with 1 race to go. Unbelievable stipulations happening. Where did CPE come from? We were talking about Mashi and Super Dude. Now CPE said not so fast.
It would not be Catalyst if it wasn't decided by 1 point. Race 12 was decided by 1 point last year. Every single lobby, not even just like semis and finals, there's been 1 point differences everywhere. I couldn't even catch the rest of the standings, I'm so sorry. But CPE now, Super Dude, no, Mashi, Super Dude 6 points behind, not out of this at all. A first from Super Dude, and if CPE gets like 4th, that'd be a tie.
And you got to talk about CPE, Mashi, and Super Dude all in the mix for that win. And they're getting this big plaque right there, like license plate. It's a pretty big, impressive thing.
Yeah, amazing trophy. We've talked about this on every cast so far, but we love this thing.
It's fantastic. Honestly,
Thank you,
it's super great, and whoever gets it, interesting last race. We're going to
Salty
Salty
Speedway.
Speedway. That's going to be interesting because anything could happen. I feel like this is just the perfect way to end it, though.
This is one of the most prominent examples of a chaotic lap 3 ending. So much can happen on this last turn. I mean, you can break away and you can be gone by the end, and you could decide it that way. But how likely is that in a lobby like this that's been so close for the entire 11 races to this point, now entering race 12, the final race of Catalyst 2026?
This is a pretty big, important situation. We actually see Underscore we haven't talked about in first, but they unfortunately failed to cut. So who takes over? Well, Mashi right now in fourth, having this red and green in their back pocket. They can opt to go for this big shortcut on the top, and they're going to opt to take the glider section, and I like that, as well as getting a red off and backing. Might have not gotten anybody in the process, but is going to continue to play aggressive with the win on the line.
Mirymeg in second, I believe, maybe first. Who is the swoop in the front is the very important question right now regarding the Momocom pass. Mirymeg might have actually been knocked out of contention for that after that DK pass race, but I mean, if the rest of those mid-spot players got bottom spots as well, that's a situation we're going to have to handle regardless. CPE with a situation I don't hate at all before getting hit there. Even now, holding those items, I think I agree with, is just what's going to happen on lap 3. Could it be an early shock here at the end of lap 2? Could it be first set lap 3? Shock could be at any point in the rest of this race, and I would not be surprised. It's Mashi in last, interestingly enough. One of the BB Daisies will drop back there, as does a swoop.
Super, dude. And they needed a big race, and CPE now in a great position, but here comes Mashi to really, but here we go. This is what we're talking about. This is where moments are made. Very, very interesting situation has come around, and this is probably the most interesting situation of this entire tournament, and it doesn't even involve anyone who's competing for the win, but meanwhile they have to spin, and that means some players are in a bad situation. CPE still in second.
Mirymeg holding on to first, CPE in second. If this holds, CPE's your champion. No one's near them. CPE, Steez is on his way up. Steez, I think, is about to lock up the Momocom pass, but who's going to take the shortcut? The pack is so close.
No, Steez.
Will anyone catch CPE? No, they won't. CPE is for Catalyst 2026 champion.
Unbelievable job by CPE to get it done when it matters. Only a 3-point difference between CPE and Mashi, and Mirymeg and Owen are tied for 6th for that Momocon pass.
Oh, Mirymeg. Owen finds himself in another tiebreaker. I will be right back as I present CPE with his trophy.
Just super unbelievable stuff. And just honestly, something that you never expected. CPE is just unbelievable. Great job from them. Great job from all of our players. In fact, our top 6, CPE, Mashi, I believe Owen, Mirymeg as well. Just super unbelievable. But make sure this has been a great tournament. Congratulations to CPE once again.
And what a performance by every single player in the lobby.
Fantastic, and truly something that it's unbelievable. I have no words for this, pretty much.
I find it so funny. Immortal took a picture of me while I was holding it. He's acting like I won the tournament, but CPE on stage getting his flowers from the crowd, from the photographers, from everybody, as Spicy has gone to the 2 competitors in 6th place to decide what to do next.
Yeah, and the Momocon pass, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. You're getting free entry to an event, so I mean, if you're gonna go to Momocon, you're gonna go to Momocon. But I feel like we have at least one more thing we have to do, don't we?
We do. Get over here, man.
We have our champion over here, hugging Awoken, CPE. Congratulations once again to CPE. Unbelievable performance to lock in and stay the course. And just unbelievable. How do you feel?
Incredible. Okay, last night, I said, I'm gonna win this shit. I said I'm gonna win, and
What do you think led you to making the win today?
well, well, the 1,800 hours I spent on this game since launching. Well, I think I've been grinding a lot in Lounge, and I've been climbing up really high.
What rank you at now? Diamond, right?
I'm Diamond, almost Master. So, I've just locked in for this. I've been really motivated to try to win. And it's gotten me done.
Yeah. I mean, the situation... I mean, you were kind of hovering around that third, fourth range for a lot of it, and then right towards the end, you make your move to the front, and going into Salty Speedway, it's 1 point. What's going through your head?
Target the pair of baby butts. Because it was, I think, Mashi on 100, and then Super Dude on 95. They were both a pair of bitty butts. I'm just gonna, if I have to, I'm gonna go out of my way and kill it. I didn't have to. I kind of just got into second because everyone died. At the end of lap 2, I got into second with triple wounds, and the shock was like weird, but it didn't really matter. And then I go through last set in second at the last set.
And you just see no one
I see two pair of bitty butts in 10-11. I'm like, they're both back there. Mirymeg is in my comp. So, yeah, I didn't really see my list spots, but
so, our world series is top 5. 2v2 winners. Also winners.
I see. Okay, so, as it turns out, there was no fight for Mumble Pass at all. It was for top 5, and who were already quite broken away. And the 2v2 winners get the remaining passes.
Top 5.
Alright, so, one last thing. What are you going to do with your money?
Mashi, Super Dude,
college.
Haruka,
That's fair enough. Thank you once again. Congratulations, CPE.
Want to pass the moment?
You want to pass the moment, congrats.
Thank you.
And
Wait, can you say that into the camera? Can someone ask him what are you going to do now?
Yeah.
Like a Super Bowl?
you just won Catalyst. What are you gonna do now?
Go in the Momo.
We love it. We love it. CBE, your Catalyst 2026 champion. Are we good to wrap it up?
We are good to
All right.
wrap it up.
Thank you so much to everybody. Local hosts, the venue, the city of Philadelphia, Mangalore Spicy, Danny Fathom, Key Mercs, the entire Catalyst production team, everyone that attended, everyone that worked on everything, USMK, MK Central, everyone that was involved in doing
Hey,
something.
top 6 world. Please come with me.
Thanks for joining,
You made
guys.
this happen, so
Thank
thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you
All of you
very
watching
much.
at home as well. And that's gonna wrap it up for Catalyst 2026.
So one last thing.
One last thing.
Go Birds!
I'm not gonna reciprocate that, but
I respect it.
that'll do it for this stream.
I'll do
Thank
it.
you all so much.
Have a great evening, bud.